Say Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahushai, Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahushai, Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahushai. First and foremost, want to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakapadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders who will uplift my stone, and a blessed sanitation to the Akiums in the four corners of the earth, who push the gospel in sincerity and truth. Shalom, right? Just want to do a little commentary, on this Dabu 7 video, right? It's a forest wave of migrant caravan hit U.S. border in California. Right, I just want to play a piece of this video, to hear what Dabu Seb is saying, right? And then we can go back into history, right? We can go into the scripture and prove, we saying was off, right? Because what this devil do, you know, this devil put a covering over all nation face. All right, and this is what the Lord doing right now, destroying the covering with this devil, do, you know. A matter of fact, let me get the precept. Let's start with the precept, right? This is Isaiah 27, right? And this with the Heavenly Father Son doing, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, right? They're destroying the covering, right? With this devil put over all people, right? This is Isaiah 25 and 7. And he will destroy in this mountain, right, the face of covering, right? Salakia. He said, and he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all people, and the veil that is spread over all nations. Right? So this devil, which is sorcery, and which is witchcraft, So let me just run this video. And this with the Lord doing, the Lord destroying the covering now. Right? So let me just run this video.
Up to the border, they'll turn themselves in, and they will enter the country. Talk of border troops having guns and all that is not going to deter any of them because, as they state, they know they will not be shot at. They'll walk right up to the border, they'll turn themselves in, and they will enter the country, and then they'll just sit there and wait. And as has happened in the past, they're hoping, like under Obama's catch and release policy, this is exactly what will happen to them. Now, the issue here is once children come up and they make it in, the children are in the country, that's when parents can show up afterwards and say, our child, their name is this, blah, 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 is inside the country. We need to enter to get them. Once they're in, they can then seek asylum themselves. And that has been the repeated process. And of course, this has been abused left and right. We can look at California. We can look at the situation where all these migrants were allowed to come into the country, even though they were not citizens. They were able to vote. I don't care what your excuse is. That's garbage. You can't just show up in someone else's country illegally, obtain identification, and then vote legally in the election. Are you kidding me? But this is what was done in mass. And the use of people in hoods and ghettos like this for their vote and all that.
So he said you can't turn up into the people country illegally. First and foremost, America was stolen, right? These Edomites stole America from the native Indians and the native Mexicans, right? So he was totally off on that. And that's really Most High Yahweh Bashem Yahushai doing, destroying the covering that cast over all nations, the ignorance that was taught, the lies that was taught, right? This is right. This article is from the True. He said the True is freedom, right? And it's right. It said the U.S. Southwest was stolen from Mexico, right? From Mexicans, like from Mexican, right? And these is our brothers. These are the so-called Mexicans, our brothers, and this is a spiritual move because the race war is coming, you know, and the race war is coming, and you devil gonna feel it. You devil's gonna feel it, and you are the heathen nation gonna feel it. This is our spiritual, but the natural man will not get it, right? It said the United States Southwest, a bandit lot by means of murder and theft, right? The so-called white man. This is attribute, right? This is character, right? Murder and theft, right? It's a Mexican gained independence from Spain in 1821 after ending years of war against colonial imposition and crime by the Spanish invader, right? They were left, he said, the war left Mexico drained out, which contribute to neglect its northern territory, right? They were drained out, right? He said, which contribute to neglect its northern territory, known today as the United States Southwest. The original name of that land is Azlan, and Chicano descendant from the original inhabitant still use that name today. Right? Let me just go to this map. This is the whole of the Southwest here, and this is the land of Mexico. So where the Caribbean head into California, this is the so-called Mexican land that was stolen by the so-called white man, right? This land is not this land that belongs to you, devil. You devil stole this land by violence. You take this land unrighteously, right? So this land belongs to who? The so-called native Indians and the so-called Mexican, right? They said the map of Southwest, right? And the West US, right? The American Southwest. He said, check out the map US state for more details, right? They say Arizona, California, Colorado, Idaho, Nevada, New Mexico, or Oregon, Utah, Texas, right? And Wyoming. So these is Southwest. These lands belongs to the so-called Mexicans, right? These lands belong to the so-called Mexican, right? So when you go back to this article, it said the United States Southwest band, Salakia, the U.S. Southwest was stolen from Mexicans, right? So it was stolen, right? So back in this article, it said while Mexico was at war with the Spanish, thousands of white colonists, cattlemen, adventure, and mercenary were coming from other parts of North America. America was only 13 colonies, right? There were only 13 colonies before the I think is the American and British war, right? Right, there were only 13 colonies, right? It's were coming from other parts of North America that had been already invaded and occupied, looking for land and gold they could find and obtain. He said, by any means, these mercenaries fixed their eyes and interest in what is today Texas, which is the so-called Mexican land, right? This day land, right? Place themselves in land plot, he said, and later enlarged their population so that by 1835 there were more whites, foreigners, right? This is not their land, they are immigrants. You so-called white people are immigrants, right? You stole that land by violence, right? It's a more white foreigners than native Mexican in the area. He said in 1836, the white foreigners occupying most of the territory by force. You stole that land by force, right? You stole that land, right? He said declaring independence and called the stolen land the Republic of Texas, right? This is what these devils always do. This is what these devils always do. Let me just get a quick precept, right? These devils always do, right? So Dabu 7 off it we saying because the covering is on his face too, right? This is Psalms 49 and 11. He said their inward thoughts is that their house shall continue forever. This the devil is how they think, the proud, and their dwelling place to all generation. They call their land after their own names. So the land that is stolen, they call it after their own name, right? That's what they do. You understand? That's what this devil do, right? So you devil got a lot to pay for, right? The devil got a lot to pay for. This is Micah chapter 2, verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hands, right? And they covet field, they covet. Thou shalt not covet, they covet field and take them by violence, right? By violence, right? By violence. He said in 1836, the white foreigners occupied most of the territory by force, declaring independence, and called the stolen land Republic of Texas. This bandit act caused the war between Mexico and the United States for the first time until the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo was signed between the two countries on February 2nd, 1848. Mexico lost the land Mexico lost the land the white called Texas, but subsequently the rest of the northern territory, which eventually became part of the whole mass land known today as the U.S. Southwest. So this is Mexico land they stole and they take it by violence, right? They take it by violence, right? He said the land stolen from Mexico is bigger than Germany and France combined, and considered to be more uh, Salaki, and considered to be among the richest in the world, whereas abundance of gold was found after the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo was signed. He said the native Mexican were forced to become U.S. citizens. They were forced to become U.S. citizens in their own land, right? In their own land. First Micah chapter 2, verse 2. And they covet field and take them by violence, and house and take them away. So they oppress a man. They oppress a man and his house. They oppress a man and his house, right? This is this devil, right? It's they said the native Mexican were forced to become U.S. citizens or leave the area 1 year after the treaty was signed. As a result of the invader laws, thousands of native Mexicans left, but he said, but the greater majority stay and become citizens throughout the development of the so-called Republic of Texas. The war against Mexico was made a grave crime. Oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage, right? He said a well-known philosopher and historian, right, Jose Vas, Vasconcelos wrote that one reason whites perpetrated horribly crime against Mexican was because they believe in the concept known as manifest destiny, which in practice mean to kill all Mexican and take Mexico, right? So you devils gotta pay for that. He that killeth with the sword shall be killed with the sword. You devil gonna be destroyed for the violence against the Israelites, the violence against the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indian, right? So the Most High destroying the covering that cover over all nation, right? If Dabu said to notice, you want to be saying we saying there. He said history has registered thousands of gruesome crime
Look at what your excuse is. That's garbage.
against
You can't do the
Mexican
repeated process.
in the
And of course,
part
this has been abused left
in
and right.
part of
We can look at California.
the
We can look at the
Native
situation where all these
American
migrants were allowed to come into
continent,
the country, even though
but
they were
more
not citizens. They were able to
outstanding
vote.
for having
Look at what your excuse is. That's
similarity with the
garbage. You can't just show up in someone else's
grave
country
crime by
illegally,
whites
obtain
in
identification,
Central
and then
and
vote.
South America. You devils got a lot for pay for, right? Are those related? He said, are those related to the to the taking to the taking of men by force of arm out of their homes to be murdered? Then the whites killer would back to the homes and rape women and little girls, murder them, set the house on fire, and kill all the animals. Let me go back to this Micah, man, right? This is Micah chapter 2, verse 2. And they covet field and take them by violence, and house and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. Even a man and his heritage. And this really see that our brothers, the so-called Mexican, which is our brothers, right? This is our brothers, right? Um, Slovakia, right? It's oh boy, I gotta come down some Slovakia, right? He said the historian Joe Vasconcellos wrote that Mexican used to refer to whites who commit who committed a crime as drunken bandits, fornicators, devils. 'Cause they are deceivers, they are devil. He said devils vomiting from hell, right? From hell, right? What precept come to mind? Right? From hell, right? This you devil, right? Book 2, start from verse 6, right? This you devil, right? This you devil. Um, yeah, this is Habakkuk 2 and 5. He said, yea, also because he, the so-called white man, transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, neither keep it at home. The land was not his home. His home is Mount Seir. Neither keep it at home. So the land of America is not his land. That was stolen land. Who enlarged his desire as hell, the grave, death, right? And as death, and cannot be satisfied. He covet people land and take them by violence. Cannot be satisfied. His desire is to cause destruction. His desire is to kill everything. That's his desire, right? This devil desire, right? This his desire. So they say, he said, that Mexican used to refer to whites who commit the crime as drunken bandit, fornicator, devil vomiting from hell, and he said, and monster who defy the law of nature, right? They're destroying the earth, right? He said they are white men, so-called white men, the devil, you see the Esau, with dirty beard, ignorant, shameless, stinking, with their hats thrown backward, with their hats thrown towards the back, he said, thirsty for the wish of stealing our land and wealth and for raping our beautiful young lady. He said that reference is still valid today, right? So, the Abu 7 didn't know what we really saying, right? When he said these people want to come on this own land, let me see if I get it back right here, right? Right, I think it's back this side here. Yeah, the so-called Mexican was there before you white devils, right? The so-called Mexican was there before you white devil, and we can go into a little bit of history and show you how they end up there. Because they was in the land of Israel, right? There was in Samaria, right? Which is the land of Palestine today, right? And we can show you they were taken out by the Assyrians. The Assyrians in 17 Salaki in 724 BC, they were taken out of the land, captive to the Syrian, right? And we go into some history and show you that, you know, how the so-called Mexicans and the native meet to the land, which is North America today, right? Out of midday, right? This is Second Kings chapter 17, verse 20. And the Lord reject all the seed of Israel, which was the northern kingdom, right? And afflict them and deliver them into the hands of the spoiler until he had cast them out of his sight. Right? It was in the land of Samaria, right? Which known today as the land of Palestine, right? With these Palestinians dwelling in this our land, right? Verse 21, for he rent Israel from the house of David. This is when he divided. This is when the seed of the seed of Jacob become two nations, Israel and Judah, right? For he rent Israel from the house of David and made Jeroboam the son of Nebat king. And Jeroboam drove Israel from following the Lord and made them sin a great sin. For the children of Israel walked in all the sins of Jeroboam, which he did, they depart not from them. Verse 23, until the Lord removed Israel out of his sight, out of the land of Samaria, right? Out of the land of Samaria, right? As he had said by all his servants, the prophets, and this is how the Most High speak to his prophets. So while you scoffers, who got kind of evil thing to say about our beloved apostles, I gotta answer for those things, right? He said, until the Lord removed Israel out of his sight, which was in northern kingdom, as he had said by all his servants the prophets, so was Israel carried away out of their own land to Assyria until this day, right? Assyria, right? Which is Shalmaneser, right? And this happened in 724 BC, right? When the king of Assyria take the 10 tribe, which was in the northern kingdom, right, into captivity. And we can get it here now, right? We're going into history, right? This is Second Ezra chapter 13, verse 40. He said, those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoner out of their own land in the time of Hosea, the king, who Salmanasar Salmanassar, the king of Assyria, lead away captive. There was the 10 tribe, which is the northern kingdom, right? There's the so-called native and the so-called Mexican, right? And he carried them over the water, and so came they into another land. But they took this counsel among themselves. So the 10 tribes took a counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwell, right? That they might, he said, that they might there keep their statues. This proved that they are Israelites, the so-called Mexicans and the so-called Native Americans, which they never kept in their own land, which is the land of Samaria, right? And they enter into Euphrates by the narrow place of the river, for the Mosai then shows sign for them and held still the flood, right, till they were passed over. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half, and the same region is called Ashtaroth, right? Ashtaroth, the same region, right? You understand? And this is how they enter into the new land, right? And this is how they enter into that new land, right? And this is how they enter. This is how they come on to this side of America, North and South America, right? They came to the new region that's called Ashtaroth, which is new land, right? Where no man can never dwell. This is why when Christopher Columbus come, how we think he find these so-called Native Americans and the so-called Mexicans. How we think he find them? He used the Apocrypha to find them. And that's how they come to this side, right? He said, then dwell there. Then he said, then dwell they there until the latter time. The latter time is these times. We in the latter time. And now when they shall begin to come, right? So, you know, and there's how we the 10 tribe which is Northern King end up on this side, right? And then then the devil Christopher Columbus he came, and this when they start killing all the natives, right? And the so-called Mexicans, right? This is when they start killing them out. So Dabu Seven didn't know what we really saying, right? Because he have the covering is over his face that is so-called white man put over all nation with his lies, right? With his lies. So these California belongs to the so-called Mexican by rights, right? By rights. It belongs to the so-called Mexican by rights, right? Salakia, right? So you devils got a lot to pay for, right? Devils got a lot to pay for, right? This is Umadaya, right? This is Umadaya. This is going to happen to you, devil. Umadaya 1:18, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord has spoken it. So after you devil serve 1,000 years of hardcore slavery, the Lord gonna run up you devil and burn you devil alive, right? We're gonna destroy you. Verse 19. And they of the south shall possess the mount of Esau, which is Judah, right? Judah is the southern kingdom, and they of the south, right, shall possess the mount of Esau, right? We're gonna take your land, which is Mount Seir. We're gonna take your land, and they of the plain of the Philistine, and they shall possess the field of Ephraim and the field of Samaria, right? He said, and of Benjamin, he said, and Benjamin shall possess Gilad, right? You understand? So we're gonna possess you devil's land. Just like we devil come and stole our land, we're gonna possess you land. And you devil's gonna be eradicated, right? For your wickedness that you did, right? So there's just a little history to show, you know, this land, the land of California, it belongs to the so-called Mexican. This whole land mass it belongs to the so-called Mexican. The whole Southwest, right, belongs to the so-called Mexican, right? You know, this would belongs to. And with that, with let's edifying. I want to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakakodash, double honors to the apostles and elders who rule God great stone, and a blessed sanitation to the Akiums and the folk and the earth to push in the gospel in sincerity. Jude Shalom.